Oh, hi there. You know, even though the holidays are over, there's still so much to celebrate. In fact, today I'm celebrating the 10th anniversary of this channel. Isn't that wild? To mark the occasion, we're going to take a trip down memory lane, hear from some fans, do some Q&A, plus a few other surprises you won't want to miss. So let's get the festivities underway. Okay, back to a more familiar setting. Let's get things started with a little bit of a retrospective. 10 years ago today, I published my first video, or rather, my first set of videos. What were they? I know you can all find out in 5 seconds by going to my videos tab and sorting by oldest first, but I'll tell you anyway. The first content I ever published was a set of 38 organic chemistry lectures, representing more or less all the material from the curricula I developed for Organic Chemistry 1 and 2, which I taught at a trade university here in the Los Angeles area for about 4 years, hence Professor Dave Explains. Most of you have heard this story before, but in case you haven't, I had been in a touring band called The Lonely Wild since 2012, which was starting to pick up a lot of steam. This meant we were on the road for long stretches of time, making it hard for any of us to maintain regular jobs, especially something like teaching. So one day in the summer of 2014, we were all sitting in the van driving from one gig to the next, and we decided that we all needed to try and get some passive income going. I decided to record my organic chemistry lectures, which were still very much fresh in my mind from teaching only a year prior, and put them on the internet to see if I could make a buck or two. Yes, look at younger me go, explaining all those molecules. Anyway, after filming this content, my friend Ryan Ross, who was also in The Lonely Wild, helped me with the first round of editing and also branding, so he's the one who recorded the theme song and other little jingles I wrote that you hear in my content. In fact, he's even playing the ukulele for the intro and outro themes. I did all the other instruments on MIDI, and yes, that's also my voice on the theme song. All of the parts, even the high ones. He also helped me make the original channel trailer that was the first thing people saw until I switched it to the current one in 2018, and he did a little cameo in it.
Vitamins, trans fats, GMOs, radiation. What does it all mean? You don't have time to figure all this out on your own. Don't you wish someone could just explain it to you, plain and simple?
Yep, that's Ryan. Now, to prepare this video, I really wanted to show some of the raw footage from those very first sessions, perhaps even the very first moment that the camera started recording in the private office of my then girlfriend and now wife, Susan, who was kind enough to let me in there for this little experiment. But sadly, Ryan could not find any of the original footage. I can't believe I didn't acquire it all from him years ago, but you live and learn. All that is left of those 3 shooting days is the final videos that are on my channel. The only thing he could find was the pictures he took of me behind his apartment that were used to make the intro theme and my channel icon. So most of these should be pretty familiar to you, while a couple will be unfamiliar since I didn't use them for anything. But this one, oh yeah, that's the one. I know I haven't had my hair this length since 2018, but I just could never bring myself to change the channel icon. Maybe one day. Anyway, Ryan also helped me with my first batch of animated videos, 41 general chemistry tutorials, which we shot on a makeshift green screen in the office he was working in at the time. The first video was done with cue cards, which was incredibly inefficient, but then we figured out how to use a laptop as a teleprompter and balanced it on some boxes. Soon after I was done releasing those general chemistry tutorials in early 2016, the channel hit 10,000 subscribers, which granted me access to YouTube Studios here in Los Angeles. That's where I filmed all my content all the way until COVID hit and they all shut down, which was a huge bummer. But I got a solid 4 years of shooting out of that place, so any of my tutorials where you see me on screen for most of the video, like my tutorials on biochemistry, classical and modern physics, biology, astronomy, and a bunch of other topics, those were shot over there. I do have all of that footage, since I took over the reins with the animating immediately after those first few general chemistry tutorials, so here's a pointless little montage for your viewing pleasure.
I ate a cookie. So solids are not... God damn it. Oh God, the burps today. Yeah, to the top. So let's take a look at these now. Let me do all that again, actually. I don't like that. Cut. Top on tight. That is precisely...
The card's full, sorry.
Oh, okay. Usually it switches to the other, but...
Oh, I didn't put in...
Didn't put it back in? Okay.
I didn't.
The gradient of some function f, del f, is itself a vector field with components being the partial derivatives of the function. So, god damn it, hang on, there is something fucking weird. Plus x squared k. Or in vector form, fuck, I missed one. Shit. Keep it running. Hey, it's Professor Dave. Let's talk terminology. Okay.
I'm still rolling. Want me to cut?
Oh, yeah, no, you keep rolling. Yeah, just refocus and all that.
Yeah, rolling. Set.
And additional factors can have an... Oh, god damn it. Let's do the whole thing again. This one's got to be one shot. Top.
Top. There we go.
Oh, there's a crackle.
I wasn't noticing it before.
Oh, and there's like a... Boom, boom, boom. Hey, check test 2. Hey, check test 2. In the surface integral in terms we can use. That's more than enough, I think.
Those 12-hour shooting days were rough. If I shot 2 or sometimes even 3 full days back to back, I usually would make myself physically ill just from projecting so strongly while reading the teleprompter all day. At any rate, on May 22nd, 2019, the channel took its first steps in a new direction when I did my very first debunk video responding to those idiots, the Globe Busters. And I did 2 more Flat Earth debunks over the following year prior to the pandemic. Once COVID hit, I really put everything into overdrive. Since I couldn't make my content the way I had been making it up until that point, I decided to switch to simply narrating the scripts and then animating them, meaning I wouldn't be visible in the content anymore. This ended up working just fine. Nobody seemed to care, so I still do it that way today for the academic tutorials. And because I wasn't limited to a certain number of shooting days per month, it totally changed my workflow. I had already been working on tutorials relentlessly, but in 2020, with nowhere to go and nothing else to do, I reached a new level of workaholism with both the tutorials and the debunks, a trajectory which has led me to where I am today. I wrote a book.
What is this?
This is my wife.
Hello.
It's not on yet.
Oh. What's the topic?
What do
for
you think
today?
about Stephen Meyer of the Discovery Institute?
Sounds like a bad guy.
He is. That's what we're here
Hi,
to talk
everybody.
about. Look
Hi,
how
Dave's fans.
look how good you look there.
I don't even have any makeup on.
Incredible.
I'm glad you like my face.
Mm-hmm.
The huge spike in online learning during the pandemic gave my channel a solid bump, and the continued viewing of my academic back catalog, along with the popularity of certain debunks and debates, has put me in this privileged position I now find myself to be in. That's right, today I can proudly exclaim that I have almost 1,700 videos published, over 3.5 million subscribers, and enough income from the channel to comfortably support my family of 4 here in Los Angeles. So what is it that I do in this room all day, every day? Well, first things first, I'm sorry to disappoint all the haters who tell me I need to get out of my mom's basement, but this is my office, which is part of a house that I own and live in with my wife and kids. So let's give you a little tour of the office. I'll just take a short video with my phone here so that you can see what I see. So this is my workstation. I have a laptop here, which I use to write my scripts, and then I have my desktop computer over here, which I use for all the post-production, the editing, and the animating. I use Adobe Premiere and After Effects in order to do that, and here's a tutorial on differential equations that I'm working on at the moment, just so you can see what it looks like when I'm animating content. There's a bunch of hard drives back there, and then my VR headset, which I toss on for a few minutes every once in a while to play VR mini golf when I need a break from working. Also, over here I have my gold million subscribers plaque, which will be the best thing I have on display until I hit 10 million subscribers in however many years it takes to get another 6.5 million subscribers. Now, a lot of people have asked where my Led Zeppelin and Radiohead posters have gone, which were visible in my office in the house we lived in before this one, and those are no longer seen because they are in my music studio, which is right behind me here through this storage closet. Let me show you what that looks like. And here we are. While my office was clearly a garage that someone had finished before I bought the house, either they or a later owner then built another garage to attach to the back of the house here, and I went ahead and finished that garage myself so that I could have a music studio. So I have my whole wing of the house here, which interestingly is 2 finished garages attached to each other. Sadly, I'm not in this studio very often, but that's going to change in 2025, as I have plans to get my musical project Simulated Sun going again, and I also plan to make some tutorials for the channel on music theory, ethnomusicology, as well as drum set performance and possibly piano performance. It'll take some planning though, since I don't really have the equipment to film that kind of content yet, but I'll figure it out. While I'm giving you the tour, I may as well let you peek around some more of the house. Here is the laundry area adjacent to my office, which has one of my favorite features, a secondary drink fridge. As you can see, I like fancy beers, so they all live in here. Then let's take a peek outside. It's winter, so we kind of let things go back here. Don't judge me too hard. But in the summer, we like to have meals out here, and we have the pool, which is great for pool parties, and the kids ride their bikes and scooters around, so it's just a great SoCal family house. Alright, that ends the house tour portion of the show. Now I'd like to pass things over to all of you. Many of you saw my request to send in clips about how this channel has affected your life, and many of you obliged. So many, in fact, that I can't play them all. But enjoy this montage from some of you who helped me get to where I am today by allowing me to help you get to where you are.
Holy shit, fucking Professor Dave, you made me fucking smarter.
Hi, Professor Dave. Happy 10 years. Your biology and ecology playlist really saved me last year when I was taking my 10th grade biology EOC. You're always my go-to when I don't understand something in one of my academic classes, so thank you so much for everything you do.
Hi Dave, I'm a 3-year college student studying chemistry and chemical engineering here in Spain. I just want to say I've been watching your videos since high school. I am in my 3rd year of university, and I thought I'd never say this, but I am still watching your videos. They are still relevant to my studies. I have been watching your videos on quantum chemistry. How do you do such in-depth tutorials with such a large variety of topics? It's beyond impressive. Anyways, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy your 10th anniversary.
Hey Professor Dave, this is Mr. Wright. Just want to let you know that I've been enjoying your content in my class almost weekly for about 7 years now. Used it for astronomy, physical science, biology, geology, anywhere from high school to elementary. The kids really enjoy it, they learn from it. I love the simplicity of the videos, as well as how complex and in-depth you go into all the content. So appreciate it, hope you keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
Happy 10 years, Professor Dave. I found your channel when I was in high school chemistry failing, and now, because of the help you gave me, I'm studying chemistry in college. You're the best, Dave.
Hello, Professor Dave. Summer 2025, I'm going to Italy to stay with my extended family, and I've been using your videos to learn Italian. Everything I know in Italian is off of your playlist, so thank you for that. Ciao.
Professor Dave, you are a lighthouse of sanity in a dark ocean of ignorance. Keep going, we need 10 more years. You are the bomb. We love you.
Hi, Professor Dave. I first discovered you due to your flat earth debunking videos, and then from there I moved on to your debunking creationism content, some of your stuff relating to abiogenesis and evolution, and, well, now I'm free from religion. Oh, and my parrot absolutely loves Simulated Sun.
Hello, Professor Dave. Thank you for all of your videos in organic chemistry. They are helping me right now.
Hello, Dave. My name is Ace Belka. You've helped me through Organic Chemistry 1 and 2 last semester. I am currently in U.S. Army RSP, and since 2015, you've helped me through a lot of academics. Thanks to you, I will now be graduating with a bachelor's in biology this coming semester. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Professor Dave.
When I was starting sophomore year biology, I'm a high schooler, I stumbled across your debunks and debate videos having to do with abiogenesis and evolution and all that creationism, James Tour type of material, and I absolutely loved it. When I was in class, or later on next year in AP Biology, I hit the ground running when it came to vestigial structures, embryonic development, everything to do with molecules coming together, cell function. You've packed a lot of fantastic material inside of those debunking videos, and it inspired me to do well in biology.
Hi, Professor Dave. My name is Frank, and I'm a high school student, dual enrolled in college, and I love just watching all of your playlists to learn just random stuff that I'm interested in, to the point where I took Calculus 1 last semester, and I had known all this stuff from watching your calculus course. So thank you so much for allowing me to learn all these cool science things.
Hey, I'm just a Romanian guy, and this might sound atypical, but for me, Professor Dave has played a major role in my deconversion from being a delusional narcissist. I had big dreams and visions of grandeur without actually studying anything, and I could have ended up spouting nonsense and remaining clueless for the rest of my life. Dave has humbled me and gotten me on the right track with both his educational content as well as the debugs. Thank you, Professor. Have a good life.
Hey Dave, congrats on 10 years. I just wanted to say I'm a more recent subscriber, but watching your videos inspired me to go back and pursue my education and become a teacher. And I really don't think that would have happened if I hadn't seen the passion and the desire you have for educating people. So thanks very much, dude.
My name's Mel. I aspire to be a theoretical physicist, and your videos have been a huge inspiration for me. I love them so much. Like, your courses have helped me, like, not only in my classes, but just like in my free time, just teaching myself all these things. And you've got me closer to achieving my dreams. And yeah, I love you. Thank you.
Hi, Professor Dave. Your videos helped me in AP Chem when I was in high school in America, and now I'm studying biochemistry in the United Kingdom. So thank you so much for your videos and your support.
Hello, Professor Dave. This is Anirban from India, and I would like to really thank you for making your maths videos, because they are the ones that really helped me to get through my college years, especially the calculus and the linear algebra videos. And they're even helping me today to, prepare for my master's in physics. So I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Hello, Dave. Congrats on your huge milestone. I just want to say thank you so much. You have definitely helped me with my mathematical skills. I'm not a science major, I'm actually a business major, but math is everywhere in every field, honestly, and you've definitely helped with that. I also want to say you've, waken me up from a lot of dogmas and, people in my circles that question science, and I think your videos have definitely helped with, with that as well, and I'm a huge science fan. It's kind of my hobby outside of work and outside of school. So yeah, thank you so much, and kudos to your success, and continue making content, man. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jack, and Professor Dave, you helped me get through organic chemistry at Berkeley, and now I'm a medical student.
Professor Dave, my name is Owen. Your math and science tutorials were nothing short of critical for my success in getting into cardiovascular perfusion school. And now I am a perfusionist in Chicago, where I run the heart-lung machine every day in open heart surgery. I appreciate you. You rock, and I say that very seriously. Thank you.
Hey, Professor Dave. I'm standing here in front of a particle accelerator that I can only write my master's thesis at because your tutorials got me partly through my quantum mechanics bachelor's course 4 years ago during COVID, and for that I would like to say thank you.
Hey, Professor Dave. Big fan of yours here. Your calculus videos actually helped me get through my computer science degree, and now I work as an engineer at a large semiconductor company. So thank you very much for what you do. Not only that, you've also inspired me to start making my own educational content. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Love your stuff. Thanks.
Hi, Professor. I'm 70 years old. Little guy here keeps me physically active. You keep me mentally active, and I appreciate it. Congratulations on 10 years, and I'm looking forward to even more in the next decade.
Professor Dave helped me to pass all my classes, then he helped me help a friend to do the same. Oh, thank you, Professor Dave.
Your videos sparked my interest in science even more. It had me in grip, especially the geology series. Now, because of that, I'm now an aspiring geologist. More power, and thank you, Professor.
Hey, Professor Dave. I'm a university student at University of Toronto. I've used your courses for chemistry, physics, calculus, and linear algebra. Right now I'm heading to my physics exam. We're gonna see if I pass.
Hello, Professor Dave. Your videos have helped me succeed in my math classes from Algebra 1 all the way up to Pre-Calculus 2. And now I went from being 2 years behind in school to being 2 years ahead in my degree in theoretical mathematics. For that, thank you.
Class of 2024 here. Thank you, Professor Dave. You helped me with my 11th grade astronomy class. We watched your videos over and over. So yes, from a fellow YouTuber, thank you for everything.
Hi Dave, congratulations on your 10th year on YouTube. The first time I watched your videos was when I was in high school doing IB Chemistry HL. Really challenging subject. I didn't do so well until I saw your videos, and it helped me a lot in redox, OChem, stoic, all that stuff.
I am thankful for your content because you made me realize that science is not some arcane or mystical thing, but something even an average Joe like me can understand.
The pandemic started halfway through my junior year of high school. I was taking chemistry at the time, and I was really struggling with it because of the switch to online classes. Your tutorials helped me a lot, so thank you.
Hey Professor Dave, I've been watching your videos since I started taking chemistry and into organic chemistry mainly. And I remember watching your old videos when you had the little whiteboard talking about like IUPAC nomenclature was one of the big helps for me. So right now I'm in Grenada studying vet school, and I probably would not have been done without help from your videos.
Hey Professor Dave, your videos have not only helped me in algebra classes multiple times, but they have also helped me in becoming more passionate about debunking anti-science stuff. So a lot of my friends are anti-vaxxers, and I've just become really passionate about trying to bring them to the truth. So thank you very much for everything you do.
Your videos of biology and physics have made me realize just how much work has been put into those fields throughout the years. You made me appreciate all the effort and struggles people before us have gone through in order for us to be where we are today, and that demands my respect. Thanks.
Congratulations, Dave. I'm watching your videos and I'm writing them down on paper just for the enjoyment of doing it. Greetings from Catalonia.
Professor Dave tripled my income.
This was my first attempt at a chemistry exam, and this one was after getting some help from Professor Dave Explains. While not a perfect score, I passed, and I couldn't have done it without you, Dave.
Professor Dave, I sold everything from my apartment because I'm moving back home to be with my family because I'm done my degree. Thank you so much.
So yeah, I first found your channel back in 2016 in high school chemistry. Hated it, helped me get through it, but now I'm getting my master's in aerospace engineering next December.
Hey Professor Dave, I wanted to thank you for those great videos you have. They got me through AP Chem and AP Physics, especially rotations. I'm studying Chem now at like a decently selective university. Also, don't let the flat earthers get you down. They're a lot louder than us, so we're still there. Don't lose hope yet.
Hi Dave. Congratulations to your anniversary from Central Europe. Thank you for snapping me out of creationism. Keep up the good work.
My name is Sachin. I am from India. I am a professional software engineer. At one point, I needed to learn basic biochemistry in order to work in my new project in bioinformatics domain. It was a serious need and serious work for pay. And that's where your videos helped me a lot. Thank you.
Hey Professor Dave, congrats on the 10-year anniversary. I'm graduating from undergrad here in Maine, going on to do a PhD in immunology, and I just wanted to say thank you for all the Gen Chem and OChem help. You've helped me out a lot. Nowadays I love watching your anti-flat earth, creationist, and James Tour videos. I'm having a lot of fun with that, so thank you for everything you do. Keep it up.
Hi Professor Dave, I'm Alexander. I'm also a teacher of biology and science from Russian. Because of war, I'm switching my teaching from Russian to English. So I'm watching your videos mainly for acquiring correct words and pronunciation, how to put my own explanations correctly in English. Thank you.
Hey Dave, so I started watching your videos in high school, even though I really had no idea what you were talking about, and I just wanted to use them as a proxy for faking intelligence. And most recently, I got an A in organic chemistry lecture and lab using them. So it's kind of weird to think that you've been a kind of a teacher of mine for like 6 years now. It's awesome. I also want to add that I have showed your videos to 3 or 4 faculty and professors at Loyola University of New Orleans, and they love your shit. You're awesome, man. Happy holidays.
I want to hear from you. Please keep it extremely brief.
Hey Dave, thank you so much for getting me off those lunatic flat earth conspiracy theories. You've been a pivotal role in my intellectual journey. Congrats on 10 years.
I had a teacher that was spreading science denial among his students, and using the information I got from you, I made him convert and actually spread normal proven information, and thanks to you, tens or hundreds of students are spared from this ignorance and potentially falling for it. Thanks for saving us.
Hi, this is Anukriti Sharma from India. I am preparing for IIT JEE. I found this channel when I was searching for a specific topic, but then I started watching the videos to revise quickly. And I'm glad that there is a series for IIT JEE too. Thank you, Professor.
Hey, Professor Dave. My name is Dylan. I'm from California. I really wanted to thank you for all the free education access you've given us throughout the years, and not just education, but college-level education, very deep education. It's important for the populace to be educated to thwart misinformation. I also really enjoy your debunk series. I think it's hilarious how you debunk all the science disbelievers and call out their bullshit. It's hilarious. Anyways, thank you so much.
Hi, Dave. I love what you do. I read your book. I think it's fantastic. I don't think any Wi-Fi is organic, and it is just lovely to see you as a candle in the dark. So thank you very much.
Hey, Professor Dave. I'm a high school teacher and I teach AP Physics, and I was looking for materials, and I used your video not only to help teach myself physics, because that's not what I went to college for, but also to help me teach my students.
Hi, he's Kenneth from Brazil, and I'd like to thank Professor Dave to help me get into university in computer science.
Hey Dave, just finished up my last day of the semester. One more semester to go and I get my bachelor's in chemistry. You've helped me with some of my classes, but I think more importantly, you've entertained me over the years, so thank you and congrats on 10 years.
Hey Professor Dave, I'm a 13-year-old in college and I recently took a General Chemistry 1 course. The professor was pretty bad, 25 out of 36 students dropped, so your videos were the reason that I got a B in the course. Thank you so much.
To thank Professor Dave for my interest in space. Your videos in astronomy got me interested in all that, and now I'm doing aerospace engineering.
Hello Professor Dave. First of all, congratulations for having 10th anniversary of Professor Dave Explains channel, and I watched every playlist of your channel and I got selected into JEE mains and I got to NIT Trichy. So you made me an impact in my career. So thank you, Professor Dave.
Hi, Professor Dave. I want to say thank you for helping me snap out of, I guess, spiritualism, not being skeptical, and being a thinker. In other words, being too lazy to Google, right? So you helped me a lot. I left a comment on some of your videos, and I appreciate your channel. I appreciate all the work you do, and I can imagine the amount of effort that goes into this is quite palpable, right? So thank you very much.
Professor Dave, thank you for your videos on Taylor and Maclaurin series. It really helped me get through real analysis in my first semester of college. I'm looking forward to the next decade of Professor Dave Explains.
Hello, Professor Dave. My name is Matthew. I go by Captain Menarda online, and I am grateful for your botany videos. They got me into the whole subject, and I'm a horticulture student now. I hope to see more. Please make more, please.
Hey, Professor Dave. Congrats on 10 years. I'm Vedant, and your videos were a lifesaver when I took Trig Honors, Chem Honors, and AP Bio as a sophomore. That was a huge jump from freshman year, but the short yet concise videos you make saved my grades. Now as I tackle AP Chem and AP Calc BC as a junior, your content is still my go-to. Thank you.
A video of yours that really helped me was your video on Gauss's law. It helped me really understand the concept, and in a certain way it helped me pass my electricity and magnetism course in my second year of college.
Not only did your videos get me through organic chemistry and help me with my degree, but also you helped me to convince my dad that the earth wasn't flat, so.
Hey Dave, JL here from Bridge the Divide. I hope you're doing well, and congratulations on an epic 10 years here on YouTube. Just wanted to personally thank you for everything you do. Your work has been instrumental in elevating my own, and the way you support other channels has really brought the community together. So keep doing what you're doing, my friend. I can't wait to see what the future holds for Professor Dave Explains, and here's to the next 10 years. I have no doubt they're going to be amazing.
Hey, Professor Dave. Your chem videos helped me through Chem Honors in 10th grade, and I really appreciate your staunch defense of the scientific method.
Hey Dave, hello from Germany. I just wanted to make this video and say congratulations to 10 years of your channel, and I think all the great work that your channel did. For example, I personally never had any interest in evolution or physics and stuff, but watching your harsh debunkings of like idiots on the internet, that like really inspired me to look more into those topics, and now they're some of my favorite things to think about. So yeah, while I'm not a biology student and whatnot, I'm still happy that your videos reached all around the world here to Germany so I can learn a bit more about evolution. Thanks for that.
Hey Dave, when I was an undergrad, I wound up failing general chemistry on 3 separate occasions. I was not the best student, and it got to the point where I was ready to drop out of school. But I stumbled across your videos during the 4th attempt that I had, and I wound up passing the class with a B. And now, currently, in 2024, I am getting my PhD in medicinal chemistry at my dream university. And to be honest, I wouldn't be here if you didn't post those videos all those years ago. So thank you so much for everything, and I hope you have another successful 10 years, and I hope to see the channel, I hope to see what it grows into the next 10 years. So congratulations, man.
Warms the heart, doesn't it? Thanks again to everyone who sent in a clip, and my apologies if yours didn't make it into the montage. Rest assured I did receive it, and I deeply appreciate all of you. Up next, I'd like to take a closer look at my ever-popular debunks. While the academic tutorials represent the majority of my content, and I have extensive plans to cover many more topics, it's this playlist here that has attracted a certain portion of the internet who enjoys watching science-denying frauds get their comeuppance. Flat earthers, electric universe proponents, creationists. At this point, I've debunked so many idiots and charlatans, but who are my favorites? What do I consider to be my best achievements in the debunking sphere? Let's find out with Professor Dave's Top 10 Annihilations. Number 10, David Weiss. In 2022, I had a live debate with a moronic flat earther named David Weiss, which quickly became an internet favorite, sitting at around 6 million views as of today. I know some of you might expect this to be a little higher on the list, but it's just such low-hanging fruit that I can't derive a ton of pride from it. Nevertheless, it was exceptionally satisfying berating this fraud into submission for a full hour, something he clearly was not used to, as he was getting very agitated, calling me a dick repeatedly. Weiss was already laughed at, but this exchange truly made him the laughing stock of the flat earth community, which pleases me greatly. Number 9, Kent Hovind. This was my first debate ever in early 2020. Ultimately, it's a little hard for me to watch as I think my performance was mediocre. I allowed him to control the direction of the conversation far more than I should have, and I became more visibly agitated by his tactics than I'd like to admit, which I took as an important lesson for subsequent debates. Nevertheless, my opening statement was great, and I really got under his skin a number of times in the debate by throwing his ridiculous analogies in his face and dismantling many of his classic talking points, thereby foreshadowing things to come. Number 8, Matt Walsh. Back in 2022, I made a video explaining some aspects of gender identity and trans people as I was frustrated from watching the ridiculous culture war surrounding the topic. In it, totally in passing, I lightly referenced demagogues like Matt Walsh who base their entire careers on stirring up hatred of trans people, and somewhat to my surprise, he made an infantile response video, cherry-picking and misrepresenting everything I said. This prompted a response from me, where I slapped him back so hard that he's never had the balls to mention my name again, but the consequences of him dedicating a video to me were that his army of incel keyboard warriors infested my channel, yielding a level of trolling and harassment that I've never seen before or since. I was being called a pedophile and or groomer literally every 3 seconds for a solid 2 weeks, which prompted me to turn off the comments on those 2 videos, something I also have never done before or since. His fans remain the most disgusting wastes of human life I have ever interacted with. Number 7, Austin Whitsitt. In 2024, after several years of harassment and accusations of cowardice from Austin, I finally agreed to debate his dumb face. The result was pure carnage, and this one sits higher on the list than David Weiss, just because Austin is such an insufferable douchebag. My opening statement put him up to his neck in the sand, and my very first point on the rotation of the celestial sphere put his head under to finish the job. The rest of it was just him flailing in complete desperation. Number 6, Wal Thornhill. Thornhill. Given that I have spent a good amount of time debunking that idiotic pseudoscience known as electric universe, one of its representatives has to be on here, so it may as well be their leader, Wal Thornhill. Well, he was their leader, he's dead now, but he's also one of the smartest people on this list because unlike so many other narcissistic frauds, when I debunked Wal, he had the wisdom to keep his mouth shut, which is why I never made any more content about him. But I'm still proud of this video, going through all of his insane claims about comets and cosmology and other topics, all of which are so spectacularly at odds with utterly trivial aspects of physics. Number 5, Terrence Howard. Terry makes it on the list not because debunking him was such a great achievement for me intellectually, an 8-year-old could do it, but the first video I made on him was almost certainly the most viral piece of content I've ever made, getting around 2 million views in just a couple weeks, largely due to being on the front page of Reddit for several days. It brought a lot of new viewers to my channel, nudged me a rung higher with the algorithm, and I think I started to hit a new level of humor with this and subsequent videos, which I've started to prioritize more with certain targets, especially Joe Rogan guests. Number 4, Casey Luskin. This spot actually goes to the entirety of Discovery Institute, including Stephen Meyer, Michael Behe, and all the other ID idiots. As soon as I started making these videos on them, they got a substantial amount of views, and because they were so devastating, so undeniably incriminating and humiliating, it triggered them into several years of damage control, relentlessly posting about me on their blog, tweeting incessantly about me, and generally complaining about me at every turn. The Luskin video was a great way to start the series because the way I catch him lying about the Nova documentary, as well as all the primary literature he references, including comments from the primary authors of the papers explicitly stating that he's lying about the research, really set the tone for the rest of the series, where I did the same thing to everyone on their roster. Although universally known as frauds within academia, they had begun to get a second wave of popularity on the internet in the early part of this decade, and with this content I completely took the wind out of those sails, with most of the videos showing up as the top search result for all of their names, thus keeping the greater populace aware of what miserable, disingenuous, malicious frauds they all are. My devotion to preventing Christian theocracy in America will never waver, and this playlist was my first major contribution to what hopefully will never have to be a far more concerted effort. Number 3, the Globe Busters. Yes, all flat earthers are low-hanging fruit, but there is no way this video wouldn't make it pretty high on this list for a number of reasons. First, it's my first debunk ever. Second, the shit slaps. It was my first time using this longer format, and I knocked it out of the park. It's my Citizen Kane. Orson Welles nailed it on his first try, and so did I. The Dunning-Kruger elevator music bits, the pacing, the snark, I just love knowing that none of these morons saw it coming, since they were the first people to ever get the Professor Dave clapback, and it makes me smile to this day. And lastly, the view count. It's the most viewed video on my entire channel by an incredible margin, coming up on 15 million views. The amount of money I've made on this video alone almost requires that I buy gifts for all the Globe Busters. Bob's dead, so he's out. Morgile is probably living under a bridge somewhere. Jaren recently came back from Antarctica where he admitted he was wrong about the 24-hour sun, so I guess it's just him. Drinks on me, Jaren. Number 2, Ben Davidson. Most of you are likely unaware of who this is or that I made content about him, but this one is all the way at number 2 because this video in particular, exposing his Kickstarter scams and other nefarious dealings, has been instrumental in keeping a lot of people out of his death cult. He literally has an apocalypse camp in Colorado, and he continues to indoctrinate hapless victims every day, but many people have contacted me to thank me for the investigative journalism that went into this piece, because it knocked some sense into them such that they could disregard his doomsday porn charlatanry and get back to their normal lives. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch, and be sure to recommend it to anyone you hear that mentions his name. He really is a complete psychopath. And now, at the very top of the list, the number 1 position, my greatest kill of all time, James Tour. This should surprise nobody who is a regular viewer of my channel. Back in 2020, when I made a fairly innocuous and charitable video on a chemist who had been spreading some disinformation online, I had no idea what it would grow into, which only did grow due to the infantile volatility of this charlatan named James. When I first came across his content, I was shocked to see essentially nobody countering it or highlighting his dishonesty in any way. But I knew that with my background in organic chemistry and molecular biology that I was uniquely suited for the task. I was completely blown away by his capacity for deception when he made his first 14-part series responding to the one video I had made, so of course I swiftly countered with a 2-part response that humiliated him and which was widely circulated. He could have stopped there, but no, he felt the need to make another series in response to my response, which was an order of magnitude more immature, more dishonest, more highly stylized. The soundtrack, the cartoons, the pageantry, it was so obvious that my 2 little videos had disgraced James, the shining star propped up by Discovery Institute, him being the only actively publishing scientist in their pathetic little stable. So they dumped an enormous amount of money into what they thought would put them ahead in the culture war. And yet they made my job so easy that my 4-part response to his series began releasing before he had even finished putting it out. His last video was never released because James and the DI were already pivoting to damage control responses to my tidal wave of humiliation contained in those 4 videos. They culminated in my acceptance of a debate challenge he had been bluffing with for some time, which took place at Rice University, and this is where James decided to humiliate himself even further. Then it was the event at Harvard, then several damage control live streams. Then his own colleagues started coming forward and outlining his fraudulence even in his academic career. All of this because Jim's ego would not allow him to ever admit fault or learn anything whatsoever about the entire field of science he was so erroneously lambasting. Over the course of 3 years or so, I caused James Tour to unravel so thoroughly that he no longer creates apologetics content on origin of life research. It's all Bible study and short hype pieces on material science. So from the standpoint of apologetics, he's dead. And I killed him. As a special treat to commemorate James in the #1 position of this top 10 list, enjoy this timeless moment from our debate 10 times. An outburst that will live on the internet forever.
Mr. Farina! 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 Mr. Farina!
This was the moment that James showed the world exactly what he is, a scared little child. And I am so happy that I acquired all of the raw footage from that event, because the live feed did not capture him in all of his fury. I went through and found this moment on the raw footage from his camera, looking him right in the eyes, so that we can all peer into the abyss of confusion and terror that is James Tour. May he rest in peace. That concludes my top 10 kills list. I have one more thing I'd like to do before we wrap up, and that's some Q&A. Along with the videos, I asked you all to send me some questions by email, and I got a lot of them. Of course, we won't do them all, but let's check out some of my favorites so that you guys can get some answers to the most burning questions. So, Hannes writes, "Hey Dave, here are some questions I've had for a bit. Do you think you'll ever write another book? Which do you think is more important, impactful, your science tutorials or your debunking videos? And also, what video series are you most proud of? And what's your favorite video game?" So, do I think I'll ever write another book? Probably not. The first one I wrote, just the publisher contacted me and I thought that would be kind of neat to be an author, and I had an idea for a book and it was very easy to write. I knew I wasn't going to sell a lot of copies, and I haven't. I've sold, well, I don't know, maybe around 5,000 copies, which is not nothing, but it's not enough to, I mean, I've made very, very, very little money, not enough money to merit wanting to write another book. But I won't rule it out completely. Who knows where I'll be 10 years from now. Maybe my circumstances will change and I'll want to write another book. As of right now, I definitely do not have any plans to write another book. What is more important and impactful, my tutorials or debunking videos? Hard to say. The debunking videos are very impactful in a very narrow way, in that they can neutralize a demagogue or a toxic science denier or somebody who, who needs to be neutralized. But the tutorials have very, very broad ramifications, right? If I'm helping many, many, many people pass organic chemistry or calculus or whatever it is, that's affecting, a lot of people becoming doctors or something like that, and then they can help people in their community. So it's kind of a toss-up in two different ways. What videos or series am I most proud of? I mean, in terms of the debunks, definitely the stuff on Discovery Institute, James Tour, things like that. In terms of tutorials, I'm really proud of my math content, and doesn't seem to. Well, no, a lot of my math tutorials have a lot of views, but and I'm working on new ones, so differential equations are coming soon. But that was definitely stuff where I get a lot of appreciation on chemistry and biology and things like that. But I don't get people don't mention my math tutorials too much. And when I finished the calculus ones and linear algebra, I was like, man, these are like, I'm really, really, really proud of these. So anyway, yeah, I really like those. Some other stuff too. What's my favorite video game? My favorite video game of all time is Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on Nintendo 64. Some of you often ask about my video games back there. When I was a kid, I had Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64. And that's what video games are to me. I do not care about Xboxes and Wiis and PlayStations and whatever the hell everyone else is doing. That's what video games were when I was 15, and that's what they will forever be. So I play Zelda games and Mario games. I buy ROM hacks, like Zelda 64 ROM hacks on Etsy. Because I don't know how people do them on the computer. I'm too old. I don't know how people do that. But people make cartridges, and so I buy them for $40 or whatever, and play them. I almost never play them, but that TV that you see there is used exclusively for me playing Nintendo 64 maybe twice a year. So it's just cool because they're games that are just like Ocarina of Time. There's just a different game that somebody else made up with all of the same assets. So that's a very dorky thing about me that I'm telling you right now. I like Zelda 64, Mario 64, and that's what I like. Okay, Nadith asks, I know that you take a lot of time on your channel to debunk videos surrounding creationism, flat earth, and such. Were you or someone you love ever indoctrinated into these belief systems? And if so, is that why you choose to make videos on it? I certainly was not. I obviously was never a flat earther. I was never a creationist. I've never been religious a day in my life. I was not raised with any religious influence. It was just a vacuum, devoid of any religious implications. So I dodged that bullet. And no one I know really either. Just nobody. I've met creationists, but no, I've never had a friend that's a creationist. Certainly nobody in my family. We're very science-minded family, and so no, that it's not any personal reason that I choose to do this, or it's not about anyone in my circle. This is for the betterment of society, right? I think that these are enormous problems. I mean, it's personal in the sense that this does impact me, societally speaking. If America descends into Christian theocracy because of these demagogues that lie, that try to spread these sort of lies, that will affect me greatly, and I would have my freedoms in danger if that were to be the case. So that is a great motivating factor for me. I want to see humanity progress into the future, not regress into the Middle Ages. So that's why I do it. Brendan asks, I understand your expertise is within science communication for now, but do you ever plan on continuing your career in academia by pursuing a master's or doctorate degree, or are you in the process of doing that? I think Dr. Dave has a nice ring to it. It does have a nice ring to it. No, I have a master's degree. I have a master's degree in science education. I almost finished a master's in synthetic organic chemistry, but I've told that story many times about why my funding was pulled because of the job that didn't have that job anymore. But a doctorate, no. I mean, unless there are no doctoral programs in science communication, to my knowledge, I would consider getting a doctorate in science communication if that were a thing that existed, if my doctoral thesis could just be work that I'm doing for myself. But definitely the idea of trying to get a doctorate in any scientific field is just, I mean, why would I do that? I'm so busy with my career, and I have a family, I have kids and everything, and it wouldn't really be aligned with my goals as a generalist and a science communicator, right? It's not necessary for me to become a specialist in some tiny, narrow niche of a subfield of an area of science. I'm very proud of being a generalist and am trying to become the best generalist that I can be. So getting a doctorate is it's antithetical to my mission statement. And who the hell has the time and No, I have no interest in getting a doctorate. But more power to all people. Right, we need scientists. So if you love doing science and you go and you get a doctorate and you become a scientist, that's great, because if nobody's doing any science, then I don't have any science to communicate. So we will, I'll forever be the ambassador to the science that you all do. Okay, Chawling, apologies, I do not know how to say your name. The question is, you are not afraid of using very confrontational language when talking about pseudoscience peddlers. What would you say the chances are of convincing people who fall for pseudoscience with a harsh tone as compared with a more diplomatic tone? For example, and then going on, we talk about a specific thing in the tour debate. So yeah, it's a great question. I mean, a couple of things here. I really can't help but use the tone that I do. It's just my personality. I can't do it any other way. But to speak more specifically, we've been trying to be diplomatic, and by we, I mean the scientific community and science communicators have come at this with diplomacy for decades, and the problem has gotten substantially worse. So being very nice and non-confrontational has not worked. I'm not saying that it can't work, and I'm not saying that nobody should take that approach, especially one-on-one. And again, the way I make content is different from how I would interact with someone face-to-face. But that has not worked, definitively. Things are much, much worse than they were 20, 30 years ago in terms of science denial and reality denial. So this is the way I choose to do it. I don't mince words. If you're a fraud, you're a fraud. I call you a fraud. If you're a lying fraud, if you're a propaganda peddler, whatever it is, that's the language I use. And I want to be appropriately scathing, because what you're doing is incredibly damaging to society. So I speak to and about people the way they deserve to be spoken to and about. And everyone else can find their own style, and I have no interest in telling other science communicators what to do or how to speak. But let's all do it however we wish to do it, and hopefully we'll get through to enough people somehow. Okay, Jason asks, I have 3 hummingbirds that hang out on my porch. I've named 2 of them, Arturius and Gwendolyn. I need your help in naming the third. Below is his photo for reference. He's a juvenile Anna's hummingbird. 2, what is the average airspeed of an unladen swallow? So the name of the third bird is Beowulf. Beowulf. I don't know. Seems like it goes with Arturius and Gwendolyn pretty well. Beowulf. What is the average speed of an unladen swallow? That seems to me to be a Monty Python reference, and I don't remember what the answer would be. I can't remember if it's the first part or if it's the bridge troll, the quiz part. But yeah, Monty Python. That's great. Okay, Khan asks, what drives you to learn so much science that would otherwise seem boring or mundane? I mean, what drives me to do it is it's my job, right? I earn money making content about all of this stuff. And so anything that I think people are learning with my tutorials, I'm making content on academic subjects that I think have the greatest chance of people wanting to watch, because they're common topics that people study and go into careers for. So that would be the main driving factor there. But honestly, I don't think that there is really any science that could be referred to as boring or mundane. There's things that interest us more than others. I'm more interested in astronomy and space stuff than, say, botany. But I made a botany series, and I thought it was really cool, and I learned some stuff, and I'm far from an expert, and not all of it stuck, but I just have a slightly enhanced understanding of plants now, and I can say the same for zoology or ecology or any of these other topics that are maybe not my super duper favorites. But I think what's fun about learning these brand new topics is when you start out knowing next to nothing about a topic, you learn so much so quickly because you didn't know anything. So you go from zero knowledge to like a 101 level knowledge very rapidly. And then again, not all of it sticks. It's not like I have an encyclopedic knowledge of every single thing that's on my channel. But yeah, everything is interesting. A leaf or a star or a rock or everything is interesting, especially given what we know about all these things. So if you come at it with the right perspective, everything is dope. Okay, Kyrgia, I think, asks, I'd like to ask how your parents took the news about you being an atheist, assuming they were religious, and how you went about doing it. I'd like some pointers for my own situation. So, unfortunately, I don't have too much advice for you here because my dad's an atheist for sure. Has been since like, I don't know, 10 or something. My parents are Italian immigrants, so they grew up in Italy. So it's a little weird. In Italy, they saw the corruption of the Catholic Church very close up. So it's this weird situation. I don't know how it's changed. I mean, I think it's even more secular now than it was 50 years ago, whenever my parents were growing up. But I think they retain like a cultural religiosity, but really detached from a lot of the beliefs. So my dad has been an atheist since he was a little kid. My mom, I don't know whether she believes in God or not. I think she might believe in God, but she's not like hyper religious or anything. I never went to church ever in my life. We just didn't. There was a complete absence of religious influence in my household. So there was no news. There was no news to break. I have never believed in God, and that's that. Okay, Gabriel asks, my question for you is, what do you do in your free time when you're not making videos? Could be anything like sports or TV. I'm looking forward to watching the 10th anniversary special. So I don't have that much free time. I really, really, really work a lot. I am really in here all the time. But I have some hobbies. Rock climbing is my favorite hobby, has been since college. And I don't get to when I was in my 20s, I would climb a lot. Now I don't much, but I still have like a membership to the Touchstone climbing gyms because there's 5 of them in the LA area. So that would be my main like hobby kind of a thing that I do a couple times a week, bouldering mainly. I like snowboarding, but I never really go. I haven't been in a few years since my younger son was born. I love food. My wife and I love good food and drink and trying new, really fancy restaurants and fancy cocktails and stuff like that. That's really all I can think of. I really don't. I work. It's kind of ridiculous how much I work, but that would be my answer for my hobbies. Okay, Led Rid asks, howdy Dave, something I have never been sure about is if Simulated Sun is a group or one-man band that just enlists help occasionally. Either way, keep on rocking. So yeah, Simulated Sun is me. It's my project. I write the music, and then when I record, I track everything except guitars because I don't know how to play them, but I come in with my demo and track along to the demo on a click. So I do drums first. Drums are like kind of my what I'm most comfortable on, and then I do all the synth bass and synth and any percussion, and then I do have to have someone who's at that studio, or I have a friend come in and do the guitars because I don't know how to play them, and then I do the vocals and then all that. So I'm doing nearly everything in the studio. And then when I was trying to do stuff live, like this is all pre-pandemic that I played a few shows. I would just hire players and give them all the parts and pay them what I could afford at the time, which was a lot less. Now I'm in a little bit of a different situation, so I am planning to bring Simulated Sun. I've been saying this for years, but 2025 is the year. I'm really going to try to make some time for music this year. And I don't know exactly what the personnel will be. I think I kind of want to switch it up and hire my good friends rather than, like young USC music school grads. But Simulated Sun is coming back. I have one more really big push in me artistically, with funding and everything. So we got to do it. It's happening this year, I promise. Okay, Isaac asks, what is your favorite pasta shape? And he loves linguine, apparently. So, linguine Alfredo. So I like pasta ripieni, I like tortellini, I like ravioli. Though that's my favorite kind of pasta, the stuffed pasta. If I'm going pasta secca, just the dry pasta, I actually don't. I do not prefer long noodly ones. I don't prefer spaghetti or fettuccine or linguine. I prefer orecchiette, conchiglie, shells, right? The shells are the little hats, the little ears. Rotini, penne regate. I like those kind of either tubes or little things. And then again, obviously, yeah, tortellini, ravioli. That's my favorite. So I love pasta. That's my stuff. Yeah. Richard asks, who do you think is dumber, flat earthers or young earth creationists? Flat earthers, no contest. And you can tell by how recently the belief was widely held by humanity, right? That's your test of how dumb it is to believe a thing. So we figured out that the Earth is a sphere about 2,500 years ago, whereas young Earth creationism was fairly prevalent or widespread until we started to get a better understanding of geology and biology in the 18th or honestly even 19th century. So it's really only been 150 to 200 years, about 200 years, to where young earth creationism begins to be silly, right? You go back 300 years, it's not silly because we didn't have a sophisticated understanding of geology. Now it's ridiculous. It's an extremely dumb thing to believe. But flat earth is even dumber because it's something that you can prove that it's not flat with naked eye observations and basic logic, whereas young earth creationism, in order to disprove, requires a modest understanding of a few different areas of empirical science. So flat earthers are the dumbest people alive. That's my answer. Okay, Chapo asks, who is my favorite scientist? So yeah, that's a great question. It's very, very hard to answer. It's like picking a favorite band or a favorite movie or something. There's just so many. But my kind of stock answer is always to go to Galileo. Galileo is sort of viewed as the first modern scientist. Like talking about what science is, you could go back all the way to like Aristotle, arguably. But in terms of rigorous quantitative empirical science, it's Galileo. Galileo was the first guy to make it very clear that natural phenomena are described mathematically. He was really, as far as I understand, the first one to say, this is a mathematical equation that governs the behavior of objects falling or rolling or whatever it is. And that's just an unbelievable paradigm shift in how we view the world. He's also Italian. He's from Pisa. My family's from Pisa. I went to Florence, and there's a Galileo museum, and it's really cool. And my younger son's middle name is Galileo. So that's how much I like him. I gave him my my middle name. My son's middle name is Galileo. So, yep, that's my answer. Bring asks if I have ever done any psychedelics, and if so, how to explain the mystic effects they cause as a materialist. Yes, I have done a fair amount of psychedelics. Not as many as some people, but I've done most of the drugs. Some many times. Yeah, it's very intense. These are very intense experiences. Some of them have been very, very influential, have been very significant experiences for me in terms of transforming aspects of my personality, my worldview, becoming certainly devoted to art and devoted to self-actualization, becoming passionate about trying to be the most effective organism possible, right? Attain the most knowledge, become the most skilled that I possibly can. So yeah, that's my experience with them. I mean, I could talk for hours and hours. I obviously won't right now. And then in terms of the mystic effects, I mean, everything about consciousness and perception occurs in the mind, right? It's just a lot of chemistry going on in your brain, and so you introduce a substance that affects your perception because it is interacting with receptors in the brain in various ways, and that can have a can have a profound effect on your access, the way you're accessing logic, the way that you are obviously perceiving the world around you. I would say the farthest out I've been is at one time did quite a lot of ketamine and had a complete dissociation. So I wasn't present physically. I dissociated from my physical body and I was just sort of just a vaguely aware entity not in any physical space. I forgot my name. I forgot that I'm human or what humans are. It was extremely weird. I have only a tenuous recollection of most of it, like a dream or something. But that's probably the single most intense experience of my entire life. And so everybody be careful with all the substances. I'm not gonna in an outward way recommend them, but if you choose to do them, just be careful and just know that whatever experience you have, if you're having it and it's too intense, just remember, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Chocolate asks, when did you notice your ability to explain things in a clear and concise manner? What made you decide to major in chemistry? If you had to move to another country for a year, where would you move? Who was the worst person you'd debated? Okay, so noticing my ability to explain things in a clear and concise manner, I imagine some point in college, probably, in terms of having to report on things or maybe I was trying to explain something to a classmate or something. I actually don't really remember, but certainly after that, in my early 20s out of college, I was mainly tutoring and was like, hey, I'm really good at this. Cool. So let's use that to make money. Majoring in chemistry, I've always liked math and science. So I went to Carleton College in Minnesota, which is a small liberal arts school where you do not declare a major until the end of your sophomore year. And I was choosing between chemistry, physics, math, and music. Physics I found to be harder than chemistry, same with math. And music I just didn't want to... I would have double majored if that was a thing, but they didn't offer a double major with music. They didn't have a concentration. And I didn't want to double major, and they didn't have a concentration like a minor. They didn't have a music minor, which is I would have done. But I didn't want to go through the way they wanted. Like, I just wanted to pick and choose the music that I wanted to do. So that's what I did. And then I just chose chemistry because I was fascinated by it. It came very easily to me, for some reason, much, much easier than physics and other area, and math too. Math came easily and I did very well, but I remember beginning of sophomore year, after linear algebra, I took differential equations, or I enrolled in it, and on the third day, I think I was like, this is hard. I'd prefer to not do this right now. Chemistry instead, organic chemistry, I took OChem 1 and 2 sophomore year and was like, this is fantastic. I would like to study this. So that's what I did. If I had to move to another country for a year, I don't know. I mean, Italy, I speak Italian, and that would be kind of cool. I haven't been to a lot of places. I kind of could see myself going to like Southeast Asia and being kind of in a jungle sort of a situation and living in luxury with all my American money. But of course, that's a pipe dream. I have 2 small children. I'm not going anywhere. Who's the worst person I'd have debated? Jesse Lee Peterson really sucks, but no, I mean, it's got to be Kent Hovind. That guy is the devil, I think. So, yeah, that's Kent. Okay, Joel is asking about the picture hanging above my couch. Did I buy that as is or have it printed? And yes, I agree. Joel, Hank, and Frank are excellent single episode characters. And wants to know about Milhouse being added to that. What's going on? Why are those the 3 dudes on there? So the backstory here, I love this thing, and a lot of people ask about it. All it is that my buddy Ryan, actually, who we were talking about earlier, Ryan Ross from The Lonely Wild, we used to have a little Secret Santa for Christmas so that we didn't have to each get everyone gifts, just everyone would get one gift and receive one gift. And so Ryan had me one year, and he went on Etsy, and he found a guy who was making these things. It's actually construction paper. So they're just little construction paper things. And we had a $20 limit on the gift, and it was like, $18 or something, or $20 roughly. And he got me the Hank Scorpio. And I was like, this is so cool. I really like this. So I, after that, went on the Etsy store and got 2 more. I got the Grimy and the Millhouse, because he only made those 3, maybe one more. I don't remember what it was, or he might have been out of stock. I got all the ones that I could. So I got those 3. Those are just the ones that guy made. I don't know if it's still on Etsy. It could be. This was like 10 years ago, so might not be there. But it's unfortunately not anything super meaningful or any kind of connection. It's just the 3 ones that guy made. So I got them, and then I had spent a little too much money on this custom frame to make them look nice all next to each other. And I just think it's really cool, and I put it over. It used to be in the family room of my old house, so then we moved here, and I was just like, oh, I'll put it up there. I think that looks cool there, and that's all that is. Kendrick asks if I'm a Star Wars fan and who my favorite Jedi is and my favorite movie in the saga. Yeah, so I am a pretty big Star Wars fan, not as big as some, but I definitely am a fan, and I obviously adore the original trilogy. I also am quite a fan of the prequel trilogy and have always defended it voraciously from haters. I think that the sequel trilogy is utter dog shit, and most everything that Disney has done with Star Wars is utter dog shit. Some exceptions would be Andor, and what was the movie that was like Andor? It was the first. I can't remember what it was. It was the first Star Wars story, the one with the main character from Andor is in that movie. Anyway, that movie is really dope, and the series Andor is really dope, and most everything else. I mean, like Mandalorian's okay. I don't know, some of it's okay, but just oh my god, the sequel trilogy. I just hate it so much. In particular, The Last Jedi. I was mad for weeks after that movie. So my favorite movie in the saga would probably be Empire Strikes Back. Luke, I Am Your Father is kind of, a candidate for the best moment in movie history. I just love that, like, A New Hope was really cool. Obviously a great movie, a revolutionary movie, but then once they knew they had a hit on their hands and they were properly funding the sequel, just... my God, Empire Strikes Back, how dark it is and how just, it's a powerful movie. What a sequel, And then they, A New Hope could have been just a flash in the pan, but then it became this incredible force that it is. So I would say Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. Return of the Jedi would be next. I really like Revenge of the Sith, if I'm being honest, right? The third prequel I also thought was really dark. I like the prequels. People can hate on them all they want. Okay, the acting is not great. You know where else the acting is not great? The original trilogy. Okay? It's not, Star Wars isn't, the dialogue is cheesy. The acting's not that great. But the story is amazing. At least for those 6 movies. So yeah, Star Wars. Jennifer asks, on a scale of 1 to 100, how much faith do you still have in humanity? That's a good question. It's lower now than it was 5-10 years ago. I'd say in the past it probably was around 80, 85, 90 even. Now, 50, 40 maybe. I might be crossing over from optimist to pessimist. There's just so much about our society and the way that we react to information and to news and to current events that just leaves me in a pit of despair. Oh yeah, and also that we're all watching a genocide happen in real time, and it's been happening for over a year, and we're not doing anything meaningful to stop that. So when you see children getting murdered by the tens of thousands, and just kids with missing limbs and everything, and that we fund it, America funds it, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. That has really, more so than MAGA culture and Trump and all that, and any kind of science denial. I'd say just the current genocide has really shaken my faith in humanity to a point that probably I don't think I can recuperate from this. It's like being around at the rise of Nazi Germany and during the Holocaust, and just wondering how in the hell can humans do this? How is this a part of how are humans doing this, right? How can Zionists do this to people, and how can everyone just go with it? Not everyone. I know that there's a lot of activists out there that are very vocal and as active as they can be. But my faith in humanity has plummeted. Maybe something will get it back up there. Here's to hoping. Tom asks, given the fact that you are of Italian descent and that you expressed some premonitions about the future of the USA in some of your videos, have you ever considered applying for Italian citizenship and therefore an EU citizenship by descent, and then getting an Italian passport just in case shit really hits the fan in the USA? Yes, Tom. Yes, I have. I have thought exactly that many times. I have been trying to get my Italian citizenship for decades. It's nearly impossible. The Italian consulate is impenetrable here in Los Angeles. It's impossible to talk to anyone on the phone. It's impossible to get any help from anybody there. It's impossible to even make a meeting. The way that the website is structured, you can't do it. I'm at the point where I may pay a third-party website. They said it would be like $8,000 to get the citizenship for me and my 2 kids. Then I got to help get my wife that somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been thinking about it, and yes, I really would like that in place as an escape plan. I don't think that America is going to go that route like in the blink of an eye. It's not going to happen the day after Trump's in office or anything. But 10 years, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it could get really bad. We could descend into like some serious fascist, authoritative, militarized police occupying the streets of every city. Like, it could happen. It could happen. And I'm not going to jail for anybody. So I'm going to keep trying to figure that out. I might at some point just fork over the money and get it that way. If anyone watching, if any fan of mine works at any Italian consulate, please contact me. I really want to get my citizenship. Get at me, please. West asks, have you had a flirfer or EU supporter or some other kind of person that really dislikes you recognize you in public? If so, then what did they say? I have not had that experience, fortunately. I don't know. I mean, there are so few flat earthers in the world. I doubt I have crossed paths with them physically. Maybe I have and just don't know it. I would imagine that kind of person, if they saw me, probably would say nothing and just fume silently. I have no idea if that has ever happened. I honestly, I rarely get recognized in general, or at least when if I am recognized, people typically don't say anything. I've had, it's obviously happened. People have come to me and say, "Hey, I love your channel," or whatever it is, but that has happened maybe 20 times total ever. So it's not that often. In fact, I get it so infrequently that I really like it. So if you ever see me in public, say hi. I totally don't mind, and I'll chat with you for a minute and you can get a picture or whatever. Because it's not like I'm not some A-list actor walking down the street going like this, don't look at me. Like, most people don't know who I am. And so if some people notice me and you are afraid to say something, don't be afraid, say hi, because I'm happy. It makes me happy. It brightens my day, honestly. It happened last week it happened, and I was at dinner with my family, and the guy next to me was like, "Hey, I love your channel." I was like, "Dude, thank you. That's awesome." So yeah, say hi. Here's another question from West. Will you ever release merch, or are you too mature? I have merch, dudes. It's listed in every single video. I have t-shirts and sweatshirts, and there's probably a mug or something, right? I have a bunch of merch. Nobody buys my merch. Check it out. I have, give it a look if you like. That's all the time we have for Q&A. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me as we looked back on 10 years of the channel. I want to thank everyone for watching and supporting me over the years with your clicks and likes and shares. If anyone would like to offer a bit more support, please consider joining my Patreon or the memberships right here on YouTube. I don't offer much in the way of special content other than sporadic update videos, but your support does go a long way in helping me continue creating all of this content for you. Otherwise, consider buying one of my shirts. I still can't believe how few of these I sell, especially instant classics like Schrodinger's Cat in a Box. You can also buy my book, Is This Wi-Fi Organic? Or you can subscribe to my other channels like my musical project Simulated Sun, my piano channel, or my children's music channel Peaches the Robot, which hopefully will pick up steam one day. Or if none of that suits you, just keep watching my content, because I'm definitely not going to stop making it. Here's to 10 great years and 10 more to come. Who knows where they will lead me. Cheers, everyone. Now I will leave you with one more montage of my favorite moments from my channel. Enjoy. He knows a lot about the science stuff, Professor D, Professor D, Let's check comprehension. He knows a lot about the science stuff, Professor, he knows a lot about the science stuff, Professor D, he knows a lot about the science stuff, Professor, he knows a lot about the science stuff.
Yeah, it's us that doesn't understand science. That's laughable.
It's as though you're pretending that this round peg doesn't fit in this round hole, even though I'm showing you that it does, and insist instead that this square peg would fit much better, no matter how many times I show you that it objectively doesn't. Instead of acknowledging anything I'm showing you, you just whine about dogma. But again, science isn't dogma, you're just stupid. Just the sound of beryllium. What's that sound again? Yep, that's what beryllium sounds like.
Yes, we've had lots of that.
You want to talk about taxes?
You could do it. You could do it. You could do it. I'm not a YouTube guy like this guy is. I sit in my office and I work very hard at this.
You make a
lot
of YouTube videos
turn on
for
my
not
camera,
being a YouTube guy, buddy.
and my camera is on.
The translation of this is, I can't publish my critiques because they're full of lies, so I'll lie to the public instead.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like.
Why don't you get in a car and drive for 24 hours, and over 24 hours, veer by 1 degree? Are you going to feel that?
That would be equivalent to this. People say, "Oh, I'm just trying to think of the easiest way."
I'm just trying to think of something to say that will make sense.
Stop being a dick.
Yoga pose, yoga pose, yoga pose. Which way is this turning? Which way is this going, buddy? Which way is this going?
I don't know. Which way is it going?
Yeah, which way is it turning?
Hey, sis, no, we talked about this.
Oh.
Go back over there.
Planets, stars, galaxies, the infinite potential of the universe, which calls out to us, begging us to grow up and tame it. The deafening silence that is our unknown future is smiling down at us in the guise of a billion twinkling stars. These worlds are ours for the taking, but only if we rise to the challenge and set our efforts on the acquisition of real knowledge. For those of you that take this road as your own, I'll see you next time, no matter which chapter is next for you.